Wagwan. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode of my Williams Return to Glory. Today we are here for the Belgian Grand Prix, round number 13 of the season, and I'm looking forward to it. I love Spa, it's one of my favourite tracks. I've done this a lot in the last week. I've raced 3 times in 3 different league races, so I feel pretty sharp and pretty quick. But as you can tell by the title, I did have some problems with my pedals, so that was a bit of a shame. You'll see what happened in the video. I'm not going to spoil anything else, but I do want to mention one thing, guys, and get a plug out of the way. So as always, the previous episode will be linked up in the top right, but also there is an extra video up there here today, and that is yesterday's upload. So essentially this video was meant to go out yesterday, but the Mercedes launched, I didn't like it, so I actually went ahead and did a complete redesign of the livery of my own and what my version of that car would have been. So I'm going to leave that video linked up in the top right hand corner of the screen, guys, and hopefully you guys can go check it out. It didn't do that well. It done pretty poor actually compared to the rest of my videos, and there was something different, something I want to experiment with. So if you guys can go over there, check it out, give it a chance, let me know what you think. I'll get some feedback on it. I'd really appreciate it, guys. But nonetheless, enough waffling, let's get into the episode and let's see how things go in what was a pretty chaotic race. So first of all, we jump into the main menu. You can see we have no rain expected this weekend, which is great. We then look at the update graph, and Mercedes are more dominant than ever. Their gap is absolutely massive. Meanwhile, we've brought some upgrades over the last couple of races. We are getting closer and closer to that midfield battle with McLaren, Renault, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, and Haas. So hopefully we can try and make some more progress there. But with that said, we move into practice. Now this weekend, we are going to have to take an engine penalty, or a grid penalty because of an engine change. That's what I meant to say. So practice will be limited in the way I was using an old engine for practice. I still want to try and keep it realistic in that sense and try and get to the end of the season on the original allocation, with obviously a few changes here and there in terms of what parts I'm permitted. But nonetheless, after practice, you can see we had a pretty decent session, scoring just over 500 R&D points. No big changes to the acclaim either, and with that we move into the engine graph. Now you can see here I am going to use element 3 of the components that I already had, but I am going to purchase a third energy store and a third control electronics, which is not part of the regulations. Therefore we are going to have to take a 20 place grid penalty for the race. As for qualifying, normally whenever I do grid penalties I usually just cut straight to the race, but for once in my life I actually thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to go out there with the fresh engine and just see what my pace would have been had I actually taken part in qualifying. So we're going to go out there and set basically just one flying lap in Q1, and that's it. You can see confirmation on the screen of the 20 place grid penalty, and we move into qualifying. As you can see, I was currently on my lap here, and it's funny because the one time I decided to take, I won't say the risk, but I decided to actually do a lap in qualifying, even though I'm taking an engine penalty. It ended in an absolute disaster as I hit the wall, broke my front left suspension, and retired from qualifying anyway. So had I taken part in qualifying, we wouldn't have got out of Q1 anyway. So I feel quite vindicated in a way that we've taken an engine penalty. But nonetheless, after qualifying, you can see Sebastian Vettel pretty much wraps up the rivalry. And yeah, we're going to start from the back of the grid with, after damaging qualifying, some penalties to my name in terms of, finances, which is a bit of a shame. But nonetheless, that's it for qualifying, guys. We're now going to move into the race and see if we can try and fight back from the very back of the grid here for the Belgian Grand Prix.
We're in Belgium once again for today's round of the Formula One World Championship. It's a race the great Ayrton Senna won 6 times, and in 2019, Charles Leclerc became the first driver to take their maiden win here since Michael Schumacher in 1992. So here we are once again, ready to go racing through the Ardennes forest. 4.35 miles of long straights, fast corners, and massive elevation changes. It makes this not only one of the most exciting circuits on the calendar, but one that makes for some consistently high-quality racing as well. Simply put it, there really is no place quite like Spa. Alongside me to discuss all the action today is Anthony Davidson. Thanks for joining us, Ant, and tell me, you were down in the pit lane earlier. How do you think the track conditions are today?
Well, it's looking a bit cold out there, if I'm honest. These tyres have quite a narrow operating window in terms of the temperatures they need to extract the best grip. So with a cold track surface, it's going to be harder to keep those temperatures up, which will lead to lower grip and maybe more mistakes.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel, and Perez, Ricciardo, Albon, Sainz, and Lando Norris, Gasly, Ocon, Lance Stroll, and Grosjean, Raikkonen, Magnussen, George Russell, and Antonio Giovinazzi. Kvyat, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, and Martinez. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Here we are then, guys, on the grid, starting from P20 and last for the Belgian Grand Prix. We are going to try and do something different by starting on the alternate strategy, going for the medium tyres and then switching on to the softs. We're going to try and get into the soft tyre as soon as possible, possibly lap 13, 14, if all goes well. And it looks like there's no rain expected here today. There's a bit of cloud towards the end of the race, but we should be fine. Fuel-wise, I'm going to overfuel by half a lap. I don't want a lot of excess fuel in the car. I want to try and be somewhat light, so I'm more competitive and on the pace. But nonetheless, guys, I feel confident. I've done 3 races here in the last week, so there's reasons to be confident about the pace, and hopefully we can try and get back in the points once again. So let's jump into it, and let's jump into the Belgian Grand Prix. Okay, here we go. The lights come on here at the circuit Spa-Francorchamps. Quick 5 lights and we're underway. Not the best start, I've got to say. Didn't really get away that well. We're going to go to the outside here, a little bit of space left by some other cars. We're going to go the long way round at La Source, turn 1. Looks like we're side by side with our teammate, and we're going to actually get ahead of George. So 3 wide here. It's getting a bit sketchy, a bit frosty as well. Russell's trying to re-challenge him, but I'm going to just cut him off. These two going side by side. I've got to be cautious here, but up the top of the hill, here we go. Let's see if we can use the Mercedes power unit to our advantage. Oh, we get pushed onto the grass. There's nowhere to go. We're completely boxed in between the 2 Haas cars, and I just have to wait and sit behind. A bit of contact up ahead. 3 wide action with Raikkonen. Oh my god, what a crazy start to the race. Russell now trying to go down the inside here through Malmedy. There's nowhere I can go, and I'm just stuck on the outside of the circuit at the moment. I'm going to try and go the long way around again here to try and get back past Russell if we can. Looks like George will just get ahead though, so I'm going to have to back off. One of the cars further up got wing damage in the Les Combes there, so we'll see who that was. Heading down towards Pouon. More side-by-side action here. Again, I'm going to take a bit of a step back and let the action unfold. Getting the run on the outside here on Magnussen, but again, I'm kind of boxed in. Come on, George, get the move done, son, so I can go through. Maybe not. Magnussen goes back after George. Oh, we get a big bit of oversteer there. Luckily, we catch the back end. Crucial stuff. Right, we're going to absolutely drain the battery here. George gets a poor exit. Magnussen slow as well. We're going to absolutely send it here. The AI don't use any of the ERS here. They never do. So we get past both of them straight away up to P16. And there's more action ahead. I believe it's a McLaren who has wing damage as we head into the bus stop chicane. Let's see if we can get another position here. Looks like whoever did get wing damage is not going to pit, which is interesting as we bump the back of Raikkonen now on the exit. Luckily no wing damage for us. Down towards turn 1. Do I go for the send? Yes, we do. On the brakes, super late. Into turn 1, and we get that move done. Lovely. What's the engine temperature saying? 119. We're going to have to watch that. I've been having issues with that in my league races. Let's see if we can get Grosjean here. We know the Ferrari engine cars are not the fastest on the straights, so we may have a chance, but it looks like Grosjean is just a bit too far ahead for now. So we'll just hand back. Both McLarens going side by side, Norris and Sainz, so one of them definitely has wing damage, maybe both, you never know. Let's see what Grosjean does here. We're going to try and see if we can get past Roman. But P15 already after 2 laps, well 1.5 laps technically speaking. That's a good start from us, and I'm happy with that. Grosjean getting held up here. We're going to try and go for the same move again here. So a bit of ERS, keep it flat through here. It looks like Sainz is the one who's struggling. He's got the wing damage. Look at the speed we've got here on the back straight. Grosjean's not going for it, so we're going to send it up the inside of Blanchimont. Bit of a squeeze there. I was coming through quite aggressively. Can we get Sainz as well? Down the inside into the bus stop chicane, and we're through. There we go, another double overtake. Getting these moves done. We've got Ocon and Norris going for it up ahead. Ocon and Norris are still going at it here after the entire Eau Rouge and Kemmel Straight sequence. There's just battles everywhere at the minute, which is great news for us, of course, because it means we get a chance to get into the race. Looks like Norris is going to send one, though, completely around the outside of Ocon, but Ocon's going to try and return the favour through turn 9. This is allowing me to really close up here. I'm going to just be patient, wait for the opportunity again on the back straight. That's a good place for me to pass. I think my throttle's broken. I think my accelerator's broken on my pedals. I can see the green bar is not maxed out. This isn't good. Yeah, my throttle's broken. I'll zoom in on it for the video so you can see. I'm going to check now anyway, but my throttle was broken, I think, live on video, which is not what I had in mind. So we're going to quickly do a little test here to see if that's true or not. So we go over to calibration, throttle. Yeah. Looks like the throttle's broken. We're stuck at 93% throttle. Oh boy. Well, we're going to have to make an adjustment then. So if I go throttle saturation, not that I want this, but let me see what the lowest I can go is. So 4. Okay, we'll just have to run with that then for now, unfortunately. That's going to have to be a short-term fix. Not ideal. Anyway, we've got a battle to contend with here, so wait for it. Grosjean's closing in. We're going to just chop him off. There we go. Stay ahead for now, just about. I'm going to have to get used to this throttle now because I'm going to be getting a lot more acceleration out of corners. That little adjustment has made a big difference because I've now got myself back within DRS range of Esteban Ocon. So that just goes to show, you know, being on 93% throttle, that was hurting me quite badly anyway. So we're now back within range. I've had an absolute shock over a bus stop chicane, but still a personal best. Let's try and close up to Esteban here. Oh, back and getting loose there as Lando Norris pits. Right, we're within DRS range of Ocon. Another personal best. Look at that, 7/10 quicker. That was a bit more of a better lap. And it just goes to show maybe I was driving with a broken throttle the whole race, which is interesting actually. Who knows how long my throttle's been broken for. I might go back and watch some footage back to see when it happened. It feels like it broke now in this race, but I was a bit slow yesterday for my league race practicing, and I felt like I couldn't get any quicker. So maybe it was yesterday when it broke. I'm not sure. Either way, I love a little look. But we're now in this race. We're in the mix. So let's try and see if we can find something here. Looks like we've got more cars in the pit lane. Will Esteban Ocon pit as well? No, he won't. He's staying up for one more, which is good for us. I'm going to try and pass him if I can this lap. There are quite a few more cars pitting. Another personal best from us. Keeping this pace up, which is great. Oh, a bit hot on the brakes there. That's okay. We'll get away with that if we can get the exit right, which we kind of do. A bit of a mess, but we're well within range here to pass Ocon. We've just got to try and get the run through a rouge. Bit of ERS here up the hill just to help close the gap. Looks like Ocon's actually draining his battery now, which is interesting. But now we're going to get the overspeed with the DRS at full capacity. There we go. Purple sector 1. And we get the job done. Ocon's going to pick this lap anyway, but I thought with the overspeed it was a good chance for us to pass him and set a good lap time this lap. So let's push on here.
Be aware we expect the grip levels to start falling away soon.
Yeah, these tyres are getting a bit second hand now, but that's okay. We're going to commit to the one-stop strategy. We need to try and take this a little bit longer if we can, as I've run a bit wide there, I've understeered. More cars in the pit lane, getting off the soft tyres. This time, Ocon does pit as we set a new personal best. 44.6, great pace from us. And we're now out to P4. This is important. We've got to try and keep this pace up. Obviously, it's not going to be ideal because we got a big slipstream last lap.
George is coming in for his stop.
If I can somewhat, you know, match those times, if I can stay in the 44s, that'd be decent. This is now an important overcut in this race to get back in the race, hopefully. And now finally, Lance Stroll is in the pits, so the remaining cars out front, I believe, are both Mercedes on the medium compound tyres, as we set a purple sector 3. So good pace after that terrible mistake at turn 1. That was a good recovery, actually. Oh wow.
Safety car, no overtaking, reduce your pace. Keep your
That is awkward.
positive as we form up.
I don't know. Oh, I mean, I've got to go soft. I've got to take them. The question is, can I get them to the end of the race? But I have to take the soft tyres. Right, we're going to box this lap then.
Right, come in at the end of this lap.
And hope that we can benefit from a safety car here. This could be massive for us. Okay, we're going to pit this lap. Both Mercedes are in. So Bottas will stack behind Hamilton a little bit. They're going for the hard tyres.
Drop your speed, our delta is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
We're going to push down to the pit lane. I should have gone a bit quicker there, to be fair. The delta really picked up towards the end of the lap. Should have just gone flat out, really. Alright, into the pit lane. Soft tyres ready. This could be massive for us. Absolutely massive. I believe the AI will no longer be running under delta now, so they're going to be running at full speed. But But the nature of turn 1 really helps us out here, so this could be huge. We need a quick stop from the boys. 2.3, it's a good stop. This is it. This is perfect. Come on.
Only one stop to go. One stop left in this strategy.
Let's go. P8. Nice. On soft tyres. Right, we are now well in this race. We've got lots of cars in the hard tyres as well, so we're going to have a big pace advantage. My throttle is now working as well, which is something I did not know at the start of the race. So we're at full capacity now, full pace. So we've got a good chance to score some big points here today. Well, here we go. It's time for the restart. My tyres are freezing cold because I chose for that to be that way. I'm waiting to the very last minute to get some temperature in because I don't want to wear my tyres out. I don't want to be constantly warming up my softs because otherwise I'm going to put a lot of tyre wear on and it's going to be close to get to the end of the race. So, you know, I don't want to have any issues. You can see how quick it is to warm them up. So there we go. We're now looking good. Now it's all about this restart. So we need to be on point. Use these soft tyres in the first laps to really take advantage of the situation here. So let's see if I can get a good restart. Ricciardo's on the hards, so is Sebastian Vettel. Gasly might be quite speedy on mediums, but that could be a good thing for us. We'll try and use it to our advantage. Right, anyway, full throttle application, which is going to help out a lot. Let's see if we can use that to get some moves done. I was convinced I won that start on the straight, and turns out I'm not. So hopefully now we can use that straight line speed to really get some moves done here. So let's try and crack on here with this restart and be aggressive with it and make these moves. At the moment, I don't really have the pace. Seems like I overestimated us on soft tyres. It seems like for now at least the AI running at full power. That should end by the end of this lap, but at full power the AI are pretty quick, so we need to just hang in there for the DRS next lap. That's all we can really do, to be honest. Looks like Vettel and Verstappen are battling away up ahead for position as well. Ricciardo is getting involved and now going side by side with the Red Bull through a Rouge and Radion. We're a bit far back from that at the moment, but luckily we have dropped Perez out of DRS range, which is good. Engine temps look decent. You can see the tyre wear is already starting to add up. So it's a big battle up ahead here. Let's see, Ricciardo now has sent one on Vettel. This is interesting, very spicy. I don't really have the pace, but if these guys start battling, I can definitely pick up the pieces. And there could be a P4 up for grabs here, I believe. Stroll's currently running in the final podium position. Look at this, I'm going to try and squeeze through on Gasly there. Had a little look, but no way through. Not sure if I got any wing damage there, I don't think I did, but this is what we want. These little battles. The AI now won't use any ERS, so they're going to be a lot more on my pace level, so we've got a chance now to make things happen. Oh, that's close. Woof. Almost lost an end plate there. But it's given me a great exit actually. Put me right in the gearbox of Pierre Gasly.
Some information on Gasly.
Oh wow.
They're going to be slow.
Timing on that was impeccable. We could get Verstappen here as well. Let's see, I'm going to drain the battery, use everything that I've got. We're going to box Gasly in. The classic maneuver. Verstappen moving across the defend onto the grass as we go through. Meanwhile, Vettel gets back past Ricciardo, but we're through and up into P6. And we're not done yet. Let's try and push on here. Verstappen's trying to come back at me. And he's gone for it, to be fair, but I'm going to have the better momentum around the outside here on these soft tyres. There we go. Let's push on. I feel like I've got some damage. I've got some understeer with the front wing. I think the front left has a slight bit of damage. I've got to be honest, my driving is pretty scrappy. I'm all over the place, and I've given myself a heap load of tyre wear. I don't know if I'm going to make it to the end now. I really don't. It's going to be really, really close. I've got to try and smooth out my driving style, but I'm having to push so much to stay on the pace in this Williams car. It's really a double-edged sword and so difficult to kind of control, but if I could finish here, I'll be very happy. Personal best, I'm trying to keep the pace up, but we are going to start to struggle soon, I think, with tyre wear, and that's where the others on the hard tyres will start to get the upper hand on me. There goes Ricciardo on Sebastian Vettel again. Meanwhile, Verstappen has dropped out of DRS range. Seems like he may have run out of DRS trying to keep up with me, so this is nice. This is good for us. Vettel stays ahead. Let's see if we can stay on the back of them, put a bit of pressure on. Maybe go for a move. Here we go again. Will Ricciardo go for it? Yes, he will. Didn't think he was, but he went for it right at the last moment. I'm starting to struggle. My rear tyres already here. I've got to be very careful. I want to go for these moves, but it just requires so much effort on the tyres, and I'm getting about 7% wear per lap. It's going to be so close, man. It really is. I'm going to be struggling at the end. I could be in puncture territory. I mean, look at that 54% already. Looks like the AI going for a change of pace. They're picking it up. There was a purple lap last time round from Lewis Hamilton. It seems like all of the AI are picking up their pace now and using up their batteries. So we could be in trouble here. I don't really have a response to this pace change. I've got very little ERS. I've got a little bit of fuel, but My rear tyres, man, are crying already. I'm going to be in trouble, I think. The good thing now about not being behind Ricciardo is that I'm not overheating the engine anymore, so I can actually use rich mix, burn a bit of fuel, make the car a bit lighter. You can see the tyre wear 66%. We've got a lap and a half to go. It's going to be close. We are going to be within the final 75%, which is puncture territory, but it's normally 80% onwards when it really starts to puncture. But 75%, it is possible to get a puncture in that range, so it's going to be tough. We've got to hold on. Okay, last lap of the race. Just got to hold on here. We're going to go for a nice wide line through turn 1. Try and get the power down. We've got a nice bit of ERS saved up. I'm just going to drain the battery here.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
There we go. That should do it. I'll save that last bit. 73% left rear. We are within puncture territory almost now. We're getting towards that risky point. I'm trying to pull it to the side, see if I can feed him into a bit of a slipstream from others, but it looks like it's not going to happen. But we should be okay to hold on now, unless the tyres absolutely hit the cliff all of a sudden. Oh, flashbacks of qualifying there. That was close. Come on, left rear, hold on please. Try and stay off the curbs if I can. Bottas wins. 78%. Oh my god, this is going to be so close. Looks like Verstappen may have run out of energy though. He's not actually closing up on me now. He's actually he's dropping off a little bit, so I think he's used all of his ERS up, which is good. Easy does it through here now. Don't slide the car if possible. Try and stay off the curb. Don't get a puncture. There we go. Look at that. 79%. Yes.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
That's it for another Grand Prix and a fantastic win for Mercedes. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
Well, there we go then, guys. Bottas picks up the win here today, and that is a bit of a surprise because Hamilton led the whole race, but Bottas wins and picks up the fastest lap. Hamilton second, Stroll on a surprise podium once again. I believe he's second one of the season. Vettel P4, great result from him ahead of Ricciardo. We finish and hold on to P6 ahead of Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez and Norris. Missing out on the points, we have Albon, Kvyat, Raikkonen, Sainz, Ocon, Gasly, Magnussen, Grosjean and Russell, and Antonio Giovinazzi, the only retirement from the race here today. We look at the driver standings and we remain in third place as, of course, we held Verstappen off behind us, so we actually extend our points lead over him to 12, and Sebastian Vettel up to P5 as well, overtaking Perez and Leclerc. We look at the constructors and we are still in fourth place. Ferrari are 2 points ahead of us now, but still we'll keep going. You never know, we could still maybe stay in the mix. To be fair, top 5 is looking pretty decent. You know, Racing Point might overtake us, but in terms of Renault McLaren, they might not have enough to catch us, so we're looking pretty good there. Either way, we're going to move back to the main menu and put more upgrades onto the car. Well, after the race, we unfortunately pretty much lose the rivalry to Sebastian Vettel. He outscores us by 2 more points, and in the end he wrapped it up by over a third of the points, so it was a pretty comfortable win for Seb, but unfortunately I couldn't really do much about that. Unfortunately, we also lose a claim because of the rivalry that we lost, which is a bit harsh, but yeah, that's the way it goes, I guess. As they say, the game's the game. Well then, here we are back in the menu, and we did get a few more R&D points, and that takes our total up to 1,584, so we have a bit to spend. Still no facility upgrades from the team, so we are going to go ahead and work on this. Now, Monza's going to come and go, so we can't really work on power because it's a bit too late for that now, so we're going to work elsewhere. Now, the aerodynamics, of course, we are at the bottom, and we're still at the bottom on the chassis as well. Now, looking at the points we have available, I feel like it would be nice to work on the overall downforce of the car. So We're going to start from the back again. We're going to get that stability on the car first. So we're going to go ahead and purchase this major upgrade for the aerodynamics. I feel like it's better to start from the back of the car, work your way to the front, because you don't want to have a good front end and then a really bad rear, because you're just going to have a lot of instability. So we'll get that first, and then hopefully the next episode we'll purchase this upgrade here and kind of add it to the upgrade batch. But guys, that's going to be it from me here today. You can see we've got 2 upgrades on the way. Both of them are major, and in theory we should hopefully overtake Alfa Romeo and Haas if they both arrive and don't fail. But anyway, that's a lot to wish for, so we're not going to get too overconfident with that. But guys, if you enjoyed today's episode, as always, slap a like on it. Let's try and hit 1,000 likes. Subscribe for more, guys. It really helps me out. We're well on the way to 60,000 subs. And as always, thanks to the members of the channel for supporting all the videos. I really, really appreciate it. Finally, check out the 2 videos, though, on screen if you have missed them. And I'll see you guys next time for the Italian Grand Prix. But until then, take care, and it's goodbye from me.